Welcome to the Net of Light, our monthly online teaching where we come together to anchor the grandmother's message, to anchor the radiant net of light to the earth more steadily and more powerfully than ever before. Today we have four women who are going to be sharing. We have Mary and Shikeola from Southern California. We have Snow from the United Kingdom, and we have Nicole from Germany. And they'll all be sharing different aspects of the grandmother's work. This is a time, as you well know, when change is accelerated to the max. And so we're being pushed forward, to step forward, to stand in our power, to tell the truth, to speak the truth, and to live in love and full power. So full speed ahead. Before we start this interaction with these four women, I'd like to ask Peggy, one of the grandmothers from Alabama, to lead us in the Net of Light meditation. For you, Peg.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. Welcome, everyone. It's a joy to be together again. And if you would please just close your eyes if you haven't already done so. And plant your feet solidly on the floor or on the ground with your back as straight as possible to allow as much energy to flow as possible. And with your next exhalation, your next out breath, just let go of all that isn't needed at this moment. And with your next inhale, bring your awareness into the core of your body and allow it to gently carry you into the sacred space of your heart. And imagine that we're all together in the very same room, breathing together, feeling the rhythm of our hearts beating together, and remembering together the net of light, this divine construct that the grandmothers have given us that joins us all together to everything. So feel the net of light surrounding us, holding us, embracing us. Become deeply aware of it and let it hold you and allow your body to feel this beautiful support. And so we call on the grandmothers and all forms of the divine, all of the holy ones, all the divine masters, the great teachers, the gurus, saints, sages, who have taught that we carry divine within us. We carry all of the divinity as they. We are just in the process of remembering, unlearning so much, and learning that we have never been separate. So taking your place on the net of light, anchor it. There's a place that feels as if it's the perfect place for you. And it may be a direct homecoming for you. You've been there so many times. And feel your heart, the sacred jewel within you. We're here to amplify the net of light by pouring love into it. And as we think about it and feel our love flowing into it, that love immediately flows back into us. You can't outgive. It's always coming back. So as you feel that wave, welcome in the ancestors of light now from your own personal lines and from the ancestors of the land of your home, as well as to the ancestors of light and the land of all the people on this call and everywhere on earth, with the knowing that we are all one family. And so we cast the net of light to one another and to every human being on the earth. We cast the net of light and love to Ukraine, to Russia, and to all places of conflict that have our attention, and hold all in love. And we cast the net of light to the elements, knowing now with new awareness that we have never been separate from them either, but they are an essential part of what makes it possible for us to live in this dimension on the earth at this time of great change and new possibilities. So we cast to the earth in our bodies as our bones and tissues, the waters within us, the air that gives us life-giving oxygen, the fire that transforms our food into nourishment, the ether that holds everything in the cosmos. And we cast with great, great love to the nature spirits and the devas that allow the physical world to even exist. We cast with gratitude to all the animal kingdom, that each may have exactly what it needs, and to the plant kingdom that gives endlessly, and in particular to the sacred great trees with their teaching about joining heaven and earth and new miraculous ways of communication that we're only now starting to tap into. We cast to the mineral kingdom all the sacred sites on the earth that hold and amplify energy and that remind us to hold strong and steady. And so we also cast to all the worlds beyond our earth and the suns beyond our sun. And we sing, we offer this prayer. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. Oh, peace, peace, peace.
Thank you, Peg. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So what I'd like to do is ask each of our four guests to speak just a little about what's moving in each of you now as you're involved in the grandmother's work. Some of you have been part of this work for a long time. Some of you have been part of it for a short time. And you all bring to it a different perspective because of your unique background, personality, life experiences, and we're so glad to have you. Now, much on our mind now is what's going on over there in Northern and Central Europe. And so I'd like to start with maybe with you, Snow, because you took on the job of heading up the Eastern European support team. And I'd love for you just to share with us what's happening there with the Eastern Europeans and with the team around the world that's in support of them as they go through this crisis in this war.
Hello, everybody. Greetings, dear ones. Thank you so much for a beautiful meditation, Peggy. I was shown such a beautiful image that is very connected to what Sharon is asking about. Last month, when we had our gathering together, Sharon shared that there is an opportunity to support those who would like to meditate on peace and support a group of women in Lithuania who asked for additional support. I've received so many beautiful emails from women from different continents, from different countries, and each time I was reading a letter, it's as if something was anchoring deeper and deeper with each such note of love. And it just showed me how all of us are really longing for beautiful connection and peace, really to see peace everywhere on earth. All the letters that I've been receiving, I've been sharing with the group in Lithuania. And the lady who reached out asking for help over a month ago, she just came to me in the meditation. And this is what I would like to share. It's beautiful. This lady, over a month ago, sent an email to Sharon, sharing that although the country is not Ukraine or Russia, but it's connected by what's happening. And they started to feel that they would need an additional support from their sisters and whoever was willing to offer this. This resulted in a chain reaction of women showing up, sharing stories how their men are supporting them, and getting together to meditate on peace. And it just really shows how one person can ignite a great fire of change. One person. And today, this person, because of her, the same woman, her name is Daiva, I would really like to acknowledge her here. She connected with other groups who were doing net of light meditations in the last recent years in Lithuania, but were living in different regions and they never met each other. Today is a day when she organized a meeting in the capital city, and I believe over 10 women came from different towns and cities to meet up and to meditate together. On peace, and she asked me to share this with you so that you are all aware how this magic really happens. One person with one beautiful intention in the heart, reaching out for help. And it's received in so many beautiful ways now. We have agreed that every time they will be having a live meeting with the groups, she and I will be connecting via emails, just exchanging, we share like little beautiful pictures of the nature. I will share what women are sending to me in her emails. And she did say that there were times when during the meditations, they would feel really like the heaviness is not really lifting much. But then at the same time, they could also acknowledge that the field of support has become much more palatable. So for those of you who would like to join in supporting them, please know that you can do it at any time that is convenient for you. However, the Lithuanian group has decided to meet every single evening at 8 o'clock Eastern European time in the evening. They connect from their homes for as much as everybody feels it's necessary or convenient at the time. So there is no right or wrong. You just plug into the net of light and offer your heart and have a beautiful exchange with the net of light. So I think it all expands in a very beautiful way, and I'm really looking forward to hear other sisters on the call. And thank you to all who have responded, and please continue to live from that place, offering your beauty, your love, your time, your care, and your peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Snow. That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear this because I got that letter from Daiva. Is that right?
That's correct, Daiva, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were scared. They were really very frightened because Klaipėda, Lithuania, is right across the water from Russia. And they just knew they were sitting ducks. That's how they felt. So I'm really glad. I'm so heartened by the response and so heartened that they're feeling better now. If anybody wants to be part of this meditative prayer team, if you just contact us through netoflight.org or grandmotherspeak.net, I'll get you to Snow so that you can be part of this team as well. Thanks, Snow. We may come back and talk more about this. But I wanted to also now ask Nicole if you would just kind of share with us what's going on in with the groups in Germany. And also, I know that a lot of the Ukrainian refugees are beginning to settle, or probably not beginning, they've been doing it for a while, in Germany. So I know that you are personally, as a country, Germany is very much affected by this war as well. So if you could share anything about that with us, we would be grateful.
Yes, thank you very much. I would like to speak not only for Germany, but for the German-speaking countries. And I think that maybe we can compare what is happening in our German-speaking Net of Light community with that, what is happening on a larger scale. Meaning we all speak German, we have different, there are differences in our German, different vocabularies, and we have different accents. But in the end, we speak German and we understand each other. And if we speak the language of the heart, we understand each other. And I think this is what we see happening in our German-speaking community. There are so many women reaching out, and they're longing for this connection. They want to be together in groups, in online meetings. They want to have physical groups. We have just started the first online meeting in Austria last Sunday. And the two women who organize Austria, they have been part of our German group for quite a while, and they are being supported by a lady from southern Germany, from Munich, to get everything started and to get the support and the help they need to work with the Net of Light in Austria. And during the first meeting, there was a man present who seemed to have felt very comfortable with the women, with the Net of Light work. There was a lady from Italy, from the German-speaking part of Italy, taking part in the Net of Light work from Austria. There is a lady in Belgium, in the German-speaking part of Belgium. She's working across borders. There is Switzerland. It's quite a settled community already, and they are still growing, and they have demand for the work we do with the Net of Light. And in Germany itself, we have lots of refugees coming, but we have many Germans have Eastern European roots. Either their parents or their grandparents are from Ukraine, from Russia, from Poland, Romania. And I think everyone knows someone that is from Eastern Europe and that is directly concerned with the war. And people are offering their homes, their spare bedrooms, flats that they have. They just open their houses and they take people in, and it's a beautiful feeling in Germany. There has been a lot of strife due to COVID, and there has been quite a rift in the country, but the war has brought people together again, and we are standing together and we're pulling on the same strings. And the support is huge. It's just huge. And some people, they can physically help, or they teach German, whatever can be done. And others, they work on a more subtle plane with prayer groups. And the German Net of Light group, every evening at 7:30, there is a Net of Light meditation for basically for everyone. And I think that is something that we're not losing sight of. Everyone needs the light. And we must also not get lost too much in the very big stories, but there are many, many other smaller, smaller fires, but also big fires burning in other places. And they need the love and the light as well. And that's something that is taken care of as well. And the grandmothers and their messages and the net of light, they really give us comfort and strength to stand strong and to keep on working. And crises like that, they always give us the opportunity to take a stand. Wow. And that's what we do.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. I loved everything you said, and especially touched me the way you emphasized that you are constantly working for the good of all, praying for all, and not taking sides in any of these stories, but working for the good of the whole of all living things.
Yeah.
Really.
And it's a huge group of women here, and they're just wonderful, wonderful, beautiful women, and I'm really privileged to be able to speak for them here.
And we are privileged to have you there at the helm, you and Sunny. Please give her our love too.
Absolutely, I will. We've spoken before, and I spoke to other women, to Joanna in Switzerland, to Andrea in Austria. So we've been in touch, and we are always in touch. And it's beautiful connections that we have made in the work.
Yes, it will continue. It will continue. Mm. I can't say how much I am moved by all of this, listening to you, listening to Snow, and seeing in you and hearing in your voice what the beauty of this work is doing for you. It's just very moving to me. I'm so glad. I'm so glad for this family of light. So I want to ask our newest member of the family of light, then, Shikayola, if you would speak a little, because you're new to this, and the grandmother's work. But I know you've been on the spiritual path forever, and that you've been working with the power of the feminine principle. But I'd like to know, you moved from Africa to different places. I know you were back east in New York, and now you're in LA. I think I've got that right. And so you've been very brave moving around the world. And I'd like to know how the grandmother's work is affecting you and your life right now.
Well, thank you. And I really want to take a moment to acknowledge Peggy, that her meditation was very beautiful. And thank you for this opportunity. You know, I sent you an email not too long ago after I read book 4 of the grandmothers, as I was reflecting back to you how reading that you have been doing this work for over 20 years, it looks like you have been kind of holding the container. Somehow I am now on book 2, Our Love is Our Power. There is that chapter about you being the container. I don't know if you must remember that. And so what is being fascinating in me connecting now to the grandmothers is how I shared with you, like, about 20 plus years, when this conversation in my heart, some spiritual work I was doing, knowing there were some grandmothers connected to me. And I was thinking they were my own lineage. Right now, because I was really not aware of the counsel of the grandmothers. But I just continue on my spiritual path. And primarily, my spiritual path had been spiritual yoga, understanding really how creation operates. And so now what I am seeing as I'm reading your book and paying attention to the messages that they are giving us, it is really just a re-illumination of the work that I have been doing myself personally, because I'm seeing how you have been working with the grandmothers to bring some messages to women out there for the last 20 years. And I am observing that I have been guided through different spiritual traditions, really learning to understand spiritual principles of how this world functions, how we are all interconnected, how we are all related. Because one of the transitions that I have been through is that connection through love, to know that we are all love. And whenever we pray, whenever we meditate, it is always for the well-being of all creation. So this is something that was very clear when I was doing the studies through Buddhism, especially the Vipassana tradition. And after that, I have observed how I have been guided to study the work of the Ascended Masters. And so as I'm paying attention to the lessons that I am seeing as I am reading the books of the grandmothers and paying attention to the meditations that they're giving us, it is really the same, but I am coming from like a different angle. And I'm now seeing how life, the grandmothers, the teachings, the divine, the feminine principle is always the same. It doesn't matter what tradition we are coming from. That's one thing I'm noticing. The other thing I'm noticing is how, in talking about the return of the mother, we women are being invited to step forward, just as I have been telling you. And what I'm sensing inside of myself is some kind of teachings that's going to happen. It seems like I am being held to really, really learn the lessons first. So that when I open my mouth, I will really know what I'm talking about. That is what I am observing and I am sensing. Because through myself, the traditions I have been through is you transform yourself. You don't go out there trying to transform the world. We transform ourselves. We become very clear about our alignment with the rest of nature, just like they're telling you in book number 2. You are one with the mother. And for us to know this deeply, because once we know this deeply, the way we connect with each other becomes different. The way we relate with each other becomes different. The way we show up for each other becomes different. And these were lessons that I have been learning on my own that are very clear inside of me. And now as I connected with you and the grandmothers, in you, I am seeing that they're telling me in a way, you have been doing this work. Now see the truth. It's out there. And so when we speak, when we talk, we will know that we are all on the same page, that we are all one. And for us, we meant to start understanding ourselves more, to start believing in ourselves more, and to stand up and to really understand when we talk about the feminine principle, what it means. And it's not about having the man in our lives, in our circles, outside of this work. It's together, but it's understanding how we operate and how we can come together to create this world, a more harmonious world that we are all yearning for. All hearts are yearning for that. That's what I can share with you right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Deep philosophy there. And deep philosophy in everything. And it's so, what I found with the grandmothers, it's so easy to understand. It's because they're playful and they are great storytellers and they like to shock you and surprise you, and it makes it fun to learn. I'm glad you're enjoying it too, and that you're learning with us. We'll see where we're taken next.
Yes, Ampiyat, you warned me. You told me that, I cannot rush anything. That, even though I'm sensing something, you told me that I cannot rush the grandmothers. And so I'm just kind of observing and paying attention to the different experiences that I have been going through. And I'm seeing how it's relating to everything that I am now learning or just discovering with you, and knowing that I am being moved somewhere. And it's just to pay attention to see what is that somewhere and what is being required of me, because that has become very clear that it's about being of service. But in being of service, it's not about me leading with what I think I want. It's not about what I want. It's about what's happening today on the world stage and what is my contribution, because each one of us is a particular mixture of experiences that will provide. So when we do the net of light, for example, I follow the principles of the net of light when I'm casting the light for everyone. But at the same time, I'm going into the spiritual principles that I know to see what's the truth that I can hold for the women, or what's happening in Ukraine, or what's happening in Russia, or what's happening in Latin America. And so there is this expansion of knowing the divine, knowing, like the grandmother said, the container, we hold everyone, and practicing no judgment, because ultimately we don't know what the divine is trying to accomplish.
That's the truth. And it's so much fun to be on the adventure and be finding out. It's a wild ride, and a ride worth taking. Thank you, Shikola. And I wanted to ask Mary, it's perfect. This is perfect timing, Mary, because Mary was with us in Joshua Tree. It's been 2 weekends ago now that we were there, and we were doing really involved with connecting heaven and earth, with connecting all the family of light together, the human beings, the divine beings, the nature beings, the ancestors, everything together in Joshua Tree, setting up a template for this multi-dimensional connection so that it would be there, very firm and steady for everyone to call on. So Mary was part of that. And Mary, you're also part of that Eastern European support team. So I'd like for you to speak a little bit now about what's moving you, what's teaching you now within this work. You have to unmute yourself.
There we go. Hi. I had a wonderful experience in Joshua Tree when we were connecting all of nature with the earth, with heaven, and I experienced my molecular structure of my body disappearing and becoming the element of air, and then becoming the element of water and fire and earth. And it was an amazing adventure. I was guided by the Blessed Virgin Mary, and she merged, she stood behind me and she merged inside of me, and she was taking me on this great adventure. What I think I really experienced, and you have these aha moments with the grandmothers, and it's like, oh, I finally get it, that I really am the earth. That, I mean, I know it sounds so simple, but I can say it, but when I really felt it and lost my body, lost the edges of my body, my molecular structure into the earth itself and all the elements, wow, that was really quite something. So, of course, my intention was to be of service and just to really connect deeply into the earth. And that's really what I have retained from that experience. And just to ground myself and anchor the net of light, I just do it all the time, as much as I can remember to do it. It's always in my consciousness to do it. So it was such a great experience. And then from Sharon letting us know that we actually accomplished what the grandmothers wanted us to do. And what an honor to be part of that. Oh my gosh, I just felt, oh, I don't know, my heart just expanded, and my heart has expanded more and more. And I just sometimes just start laughing and giggling and calling in all my higher beings that were with me, and Pan and the elements and all the fairies and the gnomes. And by the way, I have a unicorn in my backyard. So, and my, the name that they gave me to, remember to bring in my team was Nilima, which I was given by an ascended master, which means green goddess fairy. So it was a full circle experience for me that day. So it's deeply embedded now in my heart, and I'm so thankful for it.
Oh, thanks, Mary. Everybody had a different experience. Everyone did. But what was so magnificent for me was seeing how seamlessly we all worked together. That we were a small group doing this particular work. We were 35, 3 men, the rest women, and we worked just as one. In fact, I think I said we worked like one organism. And so where we'll be going next, I believe, is deeper into this work, where we work as one with all of nature, with all human beings, in concert with all forms of the divine. It's the great, great oneness. When the grandmothers first came, I had no concept that they would take us to this hugely expanded state. But they've done it, and they've unfolded one layer at a time so that it makes sense and it becomes comfortable and easy to do. And the heart just expands and expands and expands. And along with the heart, the mind expands. And so all the little limitations that we've been taught, that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you can only do this is only for special ones, not for you. All of that just dissolves and dissolves and dissolves. And to our great joy and surprise, we feel this one love just swelling and swelling. So what you're describing there is that giggling that comes up sometimes, that great wave of happiness, the zaniness of it, of having this kind of freedom, the joy of that. And what I know from all these years of doing this work is it's not done yet. It's going to just keep going. The expansion will continue to go on and on and on. And we'll be part of that. And for heaven's sake, there's my phone ringing. Please ignore it. And I'd like to ask if one of you who's on this call today, and that includes Peggy and includes Nadia and Kate and everybody. Oh, there's Neil Young. He's searching for the heart of gold. Isn't that what we're all doing? Anyway, if one of you would lead us in a song, one of the grandmother songs, who wants to do it? Okay, then I will. And this is a true thought. This is holy ground. We're standing on holy ground. For love is present, and where love is present is holy. These are holy hearts. Love's given us holy hearts. Love works through these hearts, and so these hearts are holy. Nadia, sing, these are holy hands.
These are holy hands, Love's given us holy hands. Love works through these hands, and so these hands are holy.
These are holy lives. Love's given us holy lives. Love works through these lives, and so these lives are holy. This is holy ground. We're standing on holy ground, for love is present, and where love is present is holy.
For love is present, and where love is present is holy.
Yes, the grandmothers say there is no mundane world. The world is holy. Everything in this world is holy. And you are no exception. Wonderful. So we'll see you again next month for the next online teaching. If you have any questions or thoughts for us, go ahead and send them. We love to hear from you. Send them to netoflight.org or grandmotherspeak.com. From our heart to yours, let the net of light hold you. Let it rock you, nurture you, and hold you. You're not going through these difficult times alone. We stand at your back, and the grandmothers enfold you. See you next month.